But in Africa, life explodes as powerfully as death. Here in South Africa, for every white baby, 5 blacks are born. Frightened, the whites have set up a system of complete racial segregation, apartheid. In their castle in the sky, they claim it can work. But in reality, it's an impossible, hysterical defense. And the longer it endures, the more it threatens to change the joyous smiles of the new generations into the grim lines of hate.
From you!
Who is the boss?
You are!
Now bend down and take the thing lying at your feet. This big spoon is called a shovel. It is your friend, which will give you bread, beer, and many wives. It must never keep still. It must go backwards and forwards all day. You shall put it down with the sunset. What is the shovel?
My friend!
What does the shovel give you?
But South Africa needs all that young black labor. There's not even enough at home. So it takes refugees from other African countries. And if they're unskilled and illiterate, it can teach them the necessities at almost no expense.
Who then is your friend?
More than a third of the world's diamonds come out of this earth. In South Africa, the white man is rich in diamonds, but poor in foresight. This wealth, which he could now share with his black-skinned citizens, could be taken from him tomorrow. 50% of the whites are against the continuation of the present racist policy. Many others hesitate, fearing the same fate that befell Sudan, Algeria, Egypt, Congo, or Zanzibar. Since 1652, the Boers have been here, working the land as farmers. 100 years ago, they struck gold, lots of gold. Now South Africa produces more gold than any other country in the world. The whites claim that this gold is theirs. Certainly the technology and the industry is. But for every 100 white technicians who work in the mines, and for every single ingot of gold that comes up from the mines, 1,000 blacks put in a long, hard day's work. Clearly, the whites need the blacks, and the blacks need the whites. But increasingly, with every passing day, the only emotions between them become distrust and hate. The black man is a child just out of the trees. This is a racist statement. Only the black man is an African. This too is a racist statement. And as such slogans spread, so does the hate. And so Johannesburg, the city of gold, becomes a segregated prison. Segregated, the blacks are locked in. Segregated, in their gilded cage, the whites are afraid to leave. When the mines were opened, the Bantus flocked down out of the mountains in search of work. Other blacks flooded in from Angola, Mozambique, the Congo, and the Sudan, and still they slip across the borders. Today they number more than 11 million. They march in waves to the entrances of the mines and split up into rivers that flow down into the labyrinth that spreads out beneath the city. The great vein of gold lies directly under Johannesburg, and the rock that separates blacks from whites is riddled with holes, like a great Swiss cheese. Like Christians in the catacombs, the miners slip from tunnel to tunnel, eating deeper and deeper into the city's foundations. The vaults tremble, and the miners run for cover. But above, though each explosion shakes the city, no one moves. For years now, no one has even noticed. The stock exchange booms. Senator Kennedy tours South Africa to plead against apartheid. But new orders for mining shares are cabled in from New York. South Africa is expelled from the Commonwealth, but London buys more shares every day. The communists offer black revolutionaries their open support. But on March 10th, Moscow bought 2 million carats of diamonds. And on May 12th, Peking ordered 50 tons of gold. Meanwhile, like the chart of the rising stock prices, the miners' course moves ever upwards. The clamor of the exchange grows shriller and more excited, but the crust separating the two worlds grows ever thinner and begins to crumble. Now, more and more, as if by the crashing waves of a rising tide, the shrill of the exchange is drowned out by the blasts of the miners' explosions. At the end of the Ice Age, a warm ocean current broke off a giant ice floe from the southern ice cap and bore a little colony of penguins here to the Cape of Good Hope. Stranded when their ice floe melted in the sun, for centuries they've been strangers in a foreign country, which grows ever hotter and more hostile, surrounded by a sea mounting in depth and fury. Soon, if these waters do not calm, one giant, angry wave will wrench them away forever from this last rock at the furthest tip of the Black Continent.